The Minnesota Vikings just handed the Cincinnati Bengals a weapon for free. No bidding war, no draft picks lost, just a two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle walking straight through the front door. But why would a contender release one of their highest-paid players after just one season? The answer reveals something the Vikings never wanted anyone to know. Jonathan Allen is a Bengal. 2 years, $26 million guaranteed, up to $28 million with incentives. That is the deal Cincinnati agreed to on Thursday, less than 24 hours after the Vikings officially released Allen at the start of the 2026 league year. Think about that timeline. The Vikings officially released him Wednesday afternoon, the very start of the 2026 league year. By Thursday morning, Allen was already in the Bengals facility. By Thursday night, the ink was dry. That is not a team that needed convincing. That is a team that had been watching Allen and waiting for exactly this moment. And here is where it gets interesting, because Allen did not just fall into Cincinnati's lap by accident. The Vikings were drowning in cap space problems, sitting more than $40 million over the cap. Allen was their second highest paid player at $23.8 million per year, sitting behind only All-Pro wide receiver Justin Jefferson. The Vikings were staring at a financial cliff. Allen wasn't just a high-paid player, he held the single highest cap hit on the entire Vikings roster at nearly $24 million. In the end, the math was undefeated. It wasn't about his talent. It was about a team desperately trying to clear room for a blockbuster quarterback move. The Bengals knew it. They were ready, and now they have a player that other teams would have paid serious money to land in open free agency. Here is what makes this signing hit different. Allen was the 17th overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. Washington took him out of Alabama, and for 8 straight seasons, he turned into one of the most reliable interior pass rushers in the entire league. 2 Pro Bowls, 45.5 career sacks, 67 tackles for loss, 129 quarterback hits. That is not a player who just showed up and collected a paycheck. That is a player who made offensive linemen miserable for almost a decade. His best years came from 2021 to 2022, when he combined for 16.5 sacks in just 2 seasons and averaged 33 quarterback hits per year. He was playing at a level that put him in conversations with the best interior linemen in football. Then Washington started tearing things apart. They traded away Chase Young and Montez Sweat at the 2023 deadline. Allen stayed, but without that dominant 4-man front around him, things changed. A pectoral injury slowed him down in 2024. The Commanders moved on before the 2025 season, but Allen was not done. And Bengals fans might remember him for a different reason. He was one of the defenders involved in the hit that tore Joe Burrow's ACL back in 2020. Now, he's gone from the man bringing Burrow down to the man ensuring nobody does it to him from the other side. Minnesota signed Allen last March on a 3-year, $51 million deal. They needed an interior disruptor badly. Allen was supposed to be the answer for multiple seasons. He started all 17 games, posted 68 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks. But the number that actually tells the real story, 34 pressures. 34 times he made the quarterback uncomfortable, disrupted a play, or forced an early throw. That ranked him among the best interior pass rushers in the entire league last season. So why did Minnesota cut him after 1 year of a 3-year deal? It was cap math, pure and simple. But here's the kicker. Because of how his contract was structured, Allen actually cost the Vikings more against the cap this year than even Justin Jefferson. The Vikings couldn't breathe with that number on the books, and the team $40 million over the cap, Allen's $23.8 million salary became impossible to keep. It had nothing to do with performance. It had nothing to do with what Allen still had left. The Vikings were in financial crisis, and Allen was collateral damage. That is the only reason he was available. And the Bengals jumped. Remember why this matters? Go back to last season. The Bengals had one of the worst defenses in professional football. They ranked second to last in the entire NFL in yards allowed per game, giving up 380.9 yards every single game. They ranked third to last in points allowed, bleeding 28.9 points per contest. Joe Burrow could not carry this offense alone, and even when he did, the defense was handing leads right back. The biggest hole was at defensive tackle. The Bengals had B.J. Hill and T.J. Slayton, but neither was generating consistent interior pressure. Allen's 34 pressures last season, That number would have led every single defensive tackle on the Bengals roster by 5 full pressures. Hill was the next closest with 29. Allen is not just an upgrade. He is the best interior pass rusher this team has had in years. And because he was cut rather than a traditional free agent, Cincinnati did not give up a single compensatory draft pick to land him. Every pick they hold stays exactly where it is, including their first rounder at number 10 overall in April's draft. This is not the only move the Bengals have made this offseason. They signed edge rusher Boye Mafe away from Seattle on a 3-year, $60 million deal. They brought in safety Bryan from Kansas City, and on the same day as the Allen announcement, they locked up offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. on a contract extension to anchor the offensive line. The Bengals are not patching holes. They are rebuilding an entire defensive unit from the ground up, and they are doing it fast. Mafe brings outside pass rush pressure. Cook fixes a leaky secondary. Allen collapses the pocket from the inside. Stack those 3 additions together, and this defense looks completely different heading into 2026. But here is the question nobody is fully answering yet. With Allen now in place at defensive tackle, the Bengals no longer need to reach for a defensive tackle at pick number 10. That draft capital is now free. And if the best player available at 10 is a pass rusher, a cornerback, or an elite offensive weapon, Cincinnati can take them without hesitation. That pick just became one of the most interesting selections in the entire first round. Not everyone is throwing confetti. Allen turned 31 in January. While his PFF grade dipped to a 53 last year, context is everything. He was a square peg in a round hole, playing in Brian Flores' exotic 3-4 blitzing system. In Cincinnati, he returns to a traditional 4-3 front, the exact same scheme where he earned his Pro Bowls in Washington. This isn't a gamble on a declining player, it's a bet that a change in scenery will bring back the monster we saw in 2022. Some analysts pointed out that his production since turning 30 has dropped steadily compared to his peak years in Washington. One outlet graded the signing A-B, noting the Bengals may have slightly overpaid given Allen's age and recent trajectory. There is also a contract situation worth watching. Because Allen was released outright rather than designated post-June 1st, there is a possibility that his new Cincinnati deal offsets money the Vikings still owe him. The full financial picture has not been locked down yet, and that could matter. And at $26 million guaranteed, Allen is being paid on par with defensive tackles like Cameron Hayward and Javon Kinlaw. That is real money for a player on the back end of his career. So the honest read is this: the ceiling is high. If Allen finds new life in Cincinnati's 4-3 scheme, which actually fits his skill set better than Brian Flores' 3-4 system in Minnesota did, this could be a bargain. If his age catches up faster than expected, the Bengals are stuck with a pricey 2-year commitment. So go back to the title, the Bengals just shocked the NFL with this signing. Here is why that holds up. The Vikings spent $51 million to sign Allen last year. They got one productive season. They had to cut him because of financial disaster. And within 24 hours of that release, Cincinnati walked in, paid $26 million, kept every single draft pick, and added a 2-time Pro Bowl pass rusher to the weakest position on their roster. No bidding war, no compensation, no draft picks lost. Just the Bengals being in the right place at exactly the right moment and being prepared enough to pull the trigger before anyone else could. The NFL did not see this coming on Wednesday. By Thursday night, Cincinnati had already changed their entire defensive identity. That is the signing. That is why it matters, and that is why the rest of the AFC should be paying very close attention to what Joe Burrow and this Bengals team are about to do.